My dear friends, I want to talk to you about something that has been causing real concern and genuine worry across communities throughout Australia. Something that is affecting the lives of seniors, pensioners, and retirees right at this very moment. A recent government decision has created ripples of uncertainty through the lives of older Australians who have given so much to this country, who have worked tirelessly for decades, who have raised families, paid their taxes, and contributed to building the society we all live in today. And now, so many of you are asking the very same question that keeps coming up again and again. Was ist mit mir los? Was bedeutet all das eigentlich für meine Rente, für meine Zukunft, für meine Sicherheit? That is precisely why we are here together today, and that is exactly what we are going to explore together in detail, with care, with patience, and with absolute clarity. Before we go any further into this important conversation, I want you to take just a moment to pause and breathe deeply. I want you to know something truly important. You are not alone in feeling this way. You are not forgotten, no matter what it might feel like sometimes. You are not invisible to those of us who understand how vital your well-being is to the fabric of this nation. Here at Centerlink Alert, we exist specifically to make absolutely certain that you understand exactly what is changing in the pension system, why these changes are being made, and most importantly, how you can take steps to protect your pension entitlements and ensure you receive every single dollar you are entitled to receive. Because you deserve nothing less than complete clarity, you deserve to be treated with dignity, and you deserve respect for everything you have contributed throughout your lifetime. If this is your first time watching Centerlink Alert, I want to personally welcome you, and I want to ask you to please subscribe to our channel right now. Wir widmen uns der Erstellung dieser detaillierten Updates speziell zur Unterstützung von Senioren in jeder Ecke Australiens. When you subscribe, you ensure that you will never miss crucial information that could directly protect your pension payments or help you access additional support that you might not even know is available to you. So please, just take a moment to gently tap that subscribe button you see on your screen. It truly does make a real difference, not just for us, but for you and your ongoing access to vital information. Now let us begin this important conversation together. Right across Australia, from the cities to the regional areas, from the coast to the outback, thousands upon thousands of seniors have been expressing genuine and deep concern about recent changes. Many have been calling Centrelink offices, waiting on hold for hours, speaking with financial counselors, consulting with accountants, or having schwierige Gespräche mit besorgten Familienmitgliedern. This is happening because any government decision that involves changes to pension rules naturally brings uncertainty, particularly when these changes touch on sensitive areas like the income test, the assets test, deeming rates, cost of living support payments, or even the schedule and timing of upcoming fortnightly payments. In this particular case, the new adjustments and modifications have caused widespread confusion, real concern, and understandable frustration among seniors who simply want one thing. They want a stable, predictable, secure retirement after a lifetime of hard work. You see, we need to understand something fundamental here. The age pension is not merely a payment that appears in your bank account. It is not just a number on a screen or a deposit that magically shows up every fortnight. For many older Australians, for perhaps most older Australians, the age pension represents something far more profound and essential. It is literally the difference between being able to heat your home properly during the cold winter months or going without warmth and shivering through the night. It is the difference between having fresh, nutritious groceries in your refrigerator or being forced to cut back to the absolute bare minimum, skipping meals or eating poorly. It is the difference between maintaining your independence, your dignity, your ability to live in your own home on your own terms, or being forced to rely heavily on others or face even more difficult circumstances. When pension rules change, when the system shifts, this is not simply about money moving around on paper. This is about fundamental security in your daily life. This is about peace of mind, about being able to sleep at night without worry. This is about knowing with certainty that after decades and decades of exhausting work, work that was often thankless, work that frequently went unrecognized, but work that was always necessary and valuable, you will be able to live your later years with genuine comfort and the dignity that every human being deserves. And this is precisely why this recent government decision has caused such strong reactions throughout the senior community. Now, let me be very clear about something. This reaction is not because seniors are resistant to change. That could not be further from the truth. Older Australians have adapted and persevered through world wars, through devastating economic recessions, through global pandemics, through massive inflation cycles, through complete technology revolutions, and through absolutely everything else that history has thrown at them over the decades. No, the deep concern we are seeing now comes from a different place entirely. It comes from uncertainty, from not fully knowing or understanding how these changes will affect everyday life, day by day, week by week. It comes from a very real and justified fear that something fundamental could shift suddenly without adequate warning or explanation. So today, here on Centerlink Alert, we are going to deliberately slow everything down. Wir werden gemeinsam atmen. We are going to take this entire situation, step by careful step, using simple, clear, and reassuring language that anyone can understand, regardless of their background or familiarity with financial matters. We are not going to rush through anything. We are not going to assume that anyone watching already understands all the technical terms and government jargon. Instead, we will go through everything together in a calm, thorough, and deeply respectful way because you absolutely deserve to understand every single detail that could affect your life and your financial security. First, let us talk honestly about why the government made this decision in the first place. In recent years, as we all know from our own personal experience, the cost of living throughout Australia has risen dramatically and sharply. We have all seen and felt the increases in grocery prices, fuel costs, electricity bills, rent or property costs, medical care expenses, and everyday essentials that we all need just to live. Seniors, especially those who are living on completely fixed incomes without any possibility of increasing their earnings, have felt this crushing pressure more intensely than almost any other group in society. Many older Australians are living extremely carefully, budgeting every single expense down to the dollar, stretching every bit of money as far as it will possibly go. The government has acknowledged this reality, and some adjustments have been introduced with the stated goal of ensuring that the age pension remains fair, sustainable over the long term, and responsive to changing economic conditions. Some of these changes relate directly to the pension amount itself, how much money you receive. Other changes relate to how your income from various sources is assessed and calculated. Still other changes relate to how deeming rates, those often confusing calculations, affect your final pension rate. There are changes that will affect part pensioners, changes affecting full pensioners, changes that impact self-funded retirees, and changes affecting individuals who are nearing pension age but have not yet started receiving payments. Now, here is something crucial to understand. Some of these changes may actually help certain seniors, potentially increasing their payments or providing more flexibility. However, other changes may unfortunately reduce pension payments for certain groups of people, depending entirely on their individual financial circumstances. This is exactly why it is so critically important to understand all the details thoroughly, because your unique personal situation matters enormously. Was beeinflusst einen Rentner auf eine Weise, was einen anderen Rentner auf eine völlig andere Weise beeinflusst? So now let us begin carefully putting all these pieces together so we can see the complete picture. The age pension system is fundamentally based on two main eligibility tests that work together: the income test and the assets test. These two tests work in combination to determine how much pension you will receive, whether you will receive a full pension payment, a partial pension payment, or in some cases, unfortunately, no pension payment at all. The government has recently updated and modified how these tests are applied and calculated. For some seniors watching this video, these changes will actually mean an increase in age pension payments, which is wonderful news. For others, unfortunately, it could mean a reduction in payments or perhaps a mandatory review of their current payment rate that could go either way. Und für eine kleinere Anzahl von Menschen könnte es bedeuten, dass sie ihre finanzielle Planung und Vermögensstruktur komplett neu bewerten müssen, ihre pension eligibility going forward. But please do not worry or panic, because we are going to break absolutely all of this down very clearly and carefully. There will be no complex mathematical formulas, no confusing government jargon or bureaucratic language, just plain everyday language spoken honestly from one human being to another. I want you to imagine that we are sitting together at your kitchen table right now, with a warm cup of tea in front of us, simply talking through what is happening in your life and how it affects you personally. That is exactly how I want this conversation to feel: comfortable and clear, because the age pension is not just some abstract financial support program. It is a solemn commitment, a promise that Australia as a nation will take proper care of its seniors, that after an entire lifetime of contribution, of work, of sacrifice, you will not be abandoned or left behind. Und das heilige Versprechen muss immer geschützt und geehrt werden. Now let us move forward into understanding the government's decision more deeply. Was genau hat sich geändert? Wann hat es sich geändert? Und wie wird es ihre bevorstehenden Rentenzahlungen beeinflussen? The government's recent decision regarding the age pension is connected to several different factors that have been building and developing over considerable time. These include ongoing inflation pressures, dramatically rising living costs, housing affordability pressures, increasing health expenses, and the overall financial well-being of older Australians across the country. This decision was definitely not made overnight or on a whim. It came only after many months of detailed economic reviews, comprehensive reports on pension sustainability, and extensive discussions about how seniors are currently coping with financial pressures. But while the government and politicians may speak in technical terms and abstract concepts, the real impact of these decisions is felt in everyday life, in real homes, by real people. Und das ist, was wir hier verstehen sollen, klar und vollständig. The core change relates specifically to how pension eligibility is assessed under both the income test and the assets test. More specifically, the thresholds, meaning the limits that determine how much income or how much value in assets a person can have before their pension payment is reduced or cut off, have been adjusted and modified. For some seniors, this adjustment will actually mean additional breathing room and flexibility, allowing them to keep more of their pension payment even if they happen to receive some income from savings accounts, from investments, from casual part-time work, or from superannuation drawdowns. For others, particularly those individuals who have assets held in certain specific financial forms or structures, the change may cause a mandatory reassessment of their situation, which may ultimately mean their pension amount shifts either up or down depending on the specific details. This is precisely why seniors across Australia reacted so strongly and emotionally when this decision was first announced publicly. Because any adjustment to these fundamental rules changes how each individual person's unique real-life situation is viewed and calculated by the system. Und wenn dein Ruhegehalt sorgfältig ausgeglichen ist, wenn jeder Dollar abgerechnet und geplant wurde, können auch relativ kleine Schiebe enormous uncertainty and worry about the future. But I want you to remember something vitally important right now. Unsicherheit bedeutet nicht automatisch Verlust. Unsicherheit bedeutet nicht unbedingt, dass du schlechter wirst. It simply means that we need to take the time to fully understand these new rules so that you can properly prepare, successfully adapt, and effektiv schützen Sie Ihre finanzielle Sicherheit in die Zukunft hinein. To truly understand what is changing, we must begin by looking at how the income test works in real life situations. The income test measures money that you earn or receive from different sources, such as part time work, bank interest, investments, shares, rental property income, and superannuation income streams. Most older Australians do not have large incomes after retirement, but many have a combination of small amounts coming from different sources. The income test ensures that the pension is highest for those who need it most, while gradually reducing for those who have additional financial support coming in. However, the way income is calculated is what really sets the tone for whether the system feels fair or difficult. Under the new rules, income thresholds have been adjusted to reflect changes in cost of living and average household financial behavior across Australia. This means the amount of income a senior can have before their pension reduces has changed. For some pensioners, this may provide welcome relief, meaning they can earn or receive additional small income without losing as much of their pension as they would have under the old rules. But for others, particularly those with income that comes from financial products affected by deeming rates, the change could alter how much income the government assumes they are receiving, which may affect the pension payment amount, even if they are not actually receiving that income in real cash each fortnight. This brings us to deeming rates, one of the most misunderstood and confusing parts of the entire pension system. Deeming rates are used when calculating income from savings, investments, and superannuation accounts. Instead of looking at exactly how much interest or return a senior actually receives in their bank account, the government uses a standard calculation to determine what income should theoretically be earned from those assets. The stated goal is to make things simpler and fairer across the board. But in practice, when interest rates change or market performance fluctuates, the deeming rate can make some seniors appear on paper to have more income than they actually do in reality. The recent decision includes adjustments to how deeming rates are set and calculated, which is why so many Australians are concerned and paying close attention. Because if deeming rates do not match real-world financial conditions and actual returns, pensioners could lose part of their pension simply because the government calculates their income differently than what truly arrives in their bank account. Und das ist der Grund, warum dieses Thema so sensibel und so lebenswichtig ist zu verstehen. Geld ist nicht nur Geld, wenn man ein Senior ist. It is stability, confidence, and the ability to live without fear of running out. Let us now move to the assets test, which is equally important. The assets test considers items such as property, excluding your primary residence if you own your home, vehicles, superannuation balances, investments, term deposits, and other financial resources that you may have accumulated. The government has also made adjustments to the thresholds used in the assets test. This means the value of assets a person can have before their pension is reduced or eliminated has shifted. For some pensioners, this may bring relief, particularly those who have modest assets but have struggled under previous rules that seemed unfair or too restrictive. For others, especially those with savings allocated in different structures or held in various forms, the change could require a careful review of how their financial portfolio is organized and structured. It is vitally important to understand that having assets does not automatically mean someone is wealthy or financially comfortable. Many seniors saved carefully and responsibly during their working years, intending to rely on their savings gradually throughout retirement, drawing them down slowly over time. The assets test can unintentionally make seniors feel punished for planning responsibly and saving diligently. This is why even small threshold changes can evoke such strong emotional responses, because the emotional meaning of savings is completely different for someone who has lived through decades of financial responsibility, sacrifice, and careful planning. Those savings represent security, peace of mind, and the fruit of a lifetime of hard work. My dear friends, if you are listening to this right now and feeling worried, I want to acknowledge that those feelings are completely natural and valid. If you are feeling confused by all of this, that response is entirely normal and understandable. If you are feeling upset or angry, that is deeply human. You spent your entire life working incredibly hard. Nobody handed you anything. You earned everything you have. You built your stability and security with your own two hands, through your own effort and sacrifice. So, any change that questions or potentially alters your financial foundation will naturally and understandably feel overwhelming and frightening. But I want you to remember this essential truth. You are not powerless in this situation. You are not facing this challenge completely alone. And you have every single right to ask questions, to seek support, to demand clear answers, and to ensure that your retirement remains secure and protected. The key now is to take things step by careful step, slowly and calmly, with clarity and growing confidence in your understanding. We are going to continue breaking down what this means for your day-to-day life, how your pension payments may shift in the coming months, how frequently assessments may occur, and what specific steps you as a senior can take right now to stay informed and protected. This is a journey that we are taking together, and Centerlink Alert will be with you every step of the way, providing clear information, honest explanations, and practical guidance. Now, before we finish today's important discussion, I need you to do something crucial for yourself and for others who desperately need this information. If you found this video helpful, if you learned something valuable today, if you feel more informed and prepared than you did before watching, please take just a moment right now to hit that like button. Your like tells us that this content matters to you, that we are providing the information you need, and it helps other seniors across Australia find this vital information when they search for answers about their pension. And if you have not already subscribed to Centerlink Alert, please, I am asking you sincerely, click that subscribe button right now and make sure you turn on the notification bell. This is absolutely critical because pension rules, government decisions, and payment updates can change quickly, and you need to know immediately when etwas die finanzielle Sicherheit beeinträchtigt. When you subscribe and enable notifications, you will be the first to know about any new changes, any new support payments, any new eligibility updates, and any important deadlines that could impact your pension. Do not miss out on information that could mean hundreds or even thousands of dollars in your pocket. Also, and this is so important, please share this video with other seniors in your life. Share it with your friends, your neighbors, your family members, anyone you know who receives the age pension or who is approaching retirement age. They need this information just as much as you do. Many older Australians do not know where to find reliable, clear information about pension changes, and you could be the person who helps them understand their rights and protections. Share this video on Facebook, send the link through email, show it to someone in person. Every share helps another senior feel less alone and more informed. Remember, knowledge is power, and staying informed is your best protection. Here at Centerlink Alert, we are committed to being your trusted source for pension updates, government changes, and financial support information. We cut through the confusion, we break down the complex government language, and we give you the facts you need in a way that is easy to understand and act upon. Dankeschön so viel für Schauen heute. Thank you for trusting Centrelink Alert to guide you through these important changes. Please take care of yourself, stay informed, and remember that you deserve every bit of support and security that this country can provide. Until our next video, stay strong, stay informed, and know that we are here for you every step of the way. This is Centerlink Alert, looking out for you, always.